They give us it again. There's one more land, two more lands, three more lands, and we peel right off again. What is up, YouTube? I hope you're having a great today, yesterday, and tomorrow. We have another breakdown video, how-to guide for all of you today. Utah versus Giga 1v1 from the nighttime into the daytime. We're going to break down where you should be looking to attack, how your movement should be, where you should be positioning yourself, and some of the mistakes that I make so you can avoid doing them yourself during your own gameplay. If you do enjoy the video or you learn something, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. It really does help out the videos as well. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you learned from the video. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe with notifications on. That'll make sure you never miss another upcoming video that releases on this channel every single week. I love you all. Chin kisses to everybody. I'll catch you in the next one. What is up, everyone? We're back with another breakdown video. This one is actually going to be a solo Giga at night all the way into the day. And we're going to talk a little bit about what you can do to improve, what you should be waiting for, how you should find your openings for engagements to not get hit with that broken left hitbox and that very, very fast turn. So we are going to speed it up. We're going to slow it down. We're going to make sure you guys get a bunch of information in here. But more than anything, we're going to watch how it all goes down. To preface this Utah right here actually just followed me from party. I have no idea why they're here at all. But you'll see through the fight, they end up like almost dying a couple times and almost ruining the hunt. And then they end up leaving eventually when it gets really dense in these trees. So, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Don't do this. If you're a player, please don't. This isn't funny. It's not fun. You're just going to ruin somebody's hunt. You're going to make this dinosaur think somebody's with them. Not cool. Bad practice. So, all right. I hear a Giga. I'm in party. I hear a Giga. I run directly toward the sound because we make good decisions here. So we're gonna make this progression here. We're gonna show you guys. We're gonna go all the way over here, and I'm gonna be in these trees with this damn Utah following me, and I see the Giga. So I am immediately gonna go, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of when I have free bites, right? This Giga is just sitting here. Maybe it's logging. If it's logging, we're not gonna turn in a ticket on that. I probably just ruined them going to bed. This Giga gets up and is ready to fight, which is perfect. So we've already landed 3 bites. We need roughly 40. The fight can be very weird. It can be very long, depending on how little they move. Gigas heal bleed very well, especially while standing still. So you just have to monitor it. You can do it in as little as 40 if they're doing a lot of running and a lot of walking without Z-turn. But you really should be aiming for the 40 to 45 range to feel very, very comfortable, even though you aren't required to get that many bites over the course of the fight, but it really does matter how you fight. So we've gotten 3 bites, and now we're going to play it out. Right? Or excuse me, the Giga immediately tracks me, and here, I am going to let this Giga chase me for as long as possible, right? I want it to use as much stamina, 1, and 2, I want it to bleed, right? So now I've hit it 5 times. You can see that I missed my 6th. I got to make sure I do my spin, and I'm going to go back after this. See, here is something that I need to make very clear at the beginning of this fight. I had no idea, because this is at night, my range oftentimes for this other Utah is not something I'm aware of. So here, I'm turned completely facing the Giga. I'm so worried about this, right? I'm so worried about this fight going on. This Utah, most of the time, pulls this Giga away from me in a way that I think the Giga is just trying to get away from me because it's dark. And now I realize that this Utah is doing a lot of this. So you really shouldn't be doing this to players. This wasn't entirely fair on the Giga's part because this Utah, even without trying, really did help the fight in certain ways. Now, we took advantage of what we had to. That's not really to take away from what we've done. But this Giga did have to focus on 2 Utahs for the very beginning of this fight, which it is not something you should be doing to other players. So we've now landed 6. We tried to do the lunge bite. We missed 2 lunge bites. I make sure to do the 360 and I go back. I'm going to outrun the tail every time. The nice thing about the Giga is when they run, when they're running, instead of just turning in their walk, they actually turn quite slow. Especially compared to a Utah, which in circle turns very fast. So you can take advantage of that by winning their tail and getting in front of them. So here's where I don't notice again, the Giga sees the other Utah in its peripheral. I'm behind, so I can't see this Utah at all. I get in. We're looking at 11 or 12 bites at this point. And there's my third one I have to peel. So I have to make sure I peel. Right here, I can't tell that the Giga's running after another Utah. I just have to follow it. I'm thinking, what is this Giga doing? And by the time I catch up, I can't see the Utah at all. I get another one that's roughly 12. Now I want to stop really quick here. And I want to show something that is very dangerous. This is a perfect time to stop. I am very much too far on the left side. If this Giga whipped back to the left and decided to bite me, it probably hits me, or it has a very good chance to hit me. I need to never really let my head get past its hip, its left hip on this ride here. I'm doing a very good job most of the time, rotating properly, catching up with its back hip. Here, I get a little overzealous. This is a bad position. You do not want to find yourself in this position where you are this close on and this exposed on the left side. The Giga turns too fast and bites too fast for this to be an okay position. So I do make a significant mistake here, and you should closely monitor while playing Utah to not overextend on these right turns. I get another right turn bite, and I'm going for lunges because it doesn't seem to be turning left. And here you see me have to rotate and quickly fix my mistake. I don't like that the Giga gets in front of me and turns around. So I'm just going to go ahead and create separation. I don't need all of my bites at one time. The faster I can get my bites, the better. But I'm in no rush, especially to put myself in a bad position. I go in again. I get all three here, I believe. I miss one, as a matter of fact. I create the 180-degree separation. Can't run down the tail this time. So I go in again, and I reset. It's very important to not lose patience. I miss a bite. I hit that bite. So now I'm on 16 or 17, I believe. And I hit that for probably 18 now. So we're not in a great spot. We're not doing it, but you see the Giga starting to show damage. Definitely on second screen. And this is something that is very important here. I'm going to get you guys to an opening here so we can talk for a second, because this is important. I'm going to see the bird's eye view. I am all the way back here. When the Giga is in this position in the trees, I know I've already landed 18 bites. I don't want to put myself in a position that this Giga can rotate around a tree. I have to spin quickly and maybe run into a tree behind me. So the only thing I'm focused on at this point is not losing the tip of its tail. I just want to know where it's going. It's raining. I can't sniff for blood, and I need to make sure I understand where this Giga is going. So I'm just going to follow the tip of its tail until it gives me openings. Here the Giga is just aimlessly trying to bite. It's a smart tactic to try to land something, thinking I'm going to be coming in. I actually really think that's quite smart for the Giga to be doing. Kind of pop shots right into the trees, not knowing where I'm posted. And the Giga is doing a great job right now. This is such a smart position for them to be in. Look at how difficult it is just to see in the replay. It is this difficult at night to see while you're in these trees. And the Utah does not have any better vision than this Giga does. So this Giga doing all this, making all this noise, moving through these trees, makes it very difficult to find a position in which is fundamentally safe to enter. Now we see something that I think is a big mistake on the Giga's part. It left the thickness of the trees, and it's going to find its way into an opening again. Being the players that we are, if we're trying to be aggressive and we're trying to stack this bleed as fast as we can to make this fight as short as possible, while still knowing it's going to be a long fight, we need to attack this Giga as soon as it does this. We cannot let it make any choices that are favorable for us and not punish it. Giga once again goes back into the trees though, so we don't take advantage of it. We are close, as you can see us over here. We're very close to this fight. We're just tracking tail. Now we've got to distance ourselves, and here's the nice part. We're in a nice opening where we can put something to work, and we are going to do just that. We go all the way up to 20. So we're in a very good spot right now with this Giga. It's walking, it gets into crouch, and that's even better. And now you can see we've entered the daytime, and it's going to be so much easier to see this fight. The Giga is yellow, so it's quite easy for me now to see it through these trees, and I'm going to try to ambush and catch its tail. It actually runs away, and this is best case scenario for us. Giving us its back at any point in time is so good. We're going to get on the right hip. We're going to shoot for that inside collar. I didn't like the left turn there, so I disengage. I cannot say this enough. If you don't like where you are in the fight, if your positioning is even subtly off, you do not need to get all 3 bites at one time. Just get the one and get yourself back out to safety. There is plenty more time in this fight to continue getting bites, but putting yourself in a bad position to land 1 bite and get yourself killed doesn't win the fight. Giga once again does a good job separating. That's a very good move right there from the Giga. It's so smart for that Giga to run a little bit and turn and face us. That's when it has the best opportunity to catch us on this entry. It gives us a little too much space on the right side, and we're going to take advantage of it. So we run down the tail. Giga goes right. It turns left. We don't like it. We go back in. We go for a run-through bite, and we don't land it. So we're at 22, 23 right now. We still have some work to do. But we're in a good position, and the Giga is now out in the open, and now it's daytime, which is both better for the Giga and the Utah. But I get to do a lot more work with my speed now that I can see in a larger distance. Giga's going to walk us down. We're going to try to win the left side. We outrun the tail, always tip to tail, and we get back in for another couple bites here. 1, 2. I don't like the third one. And there's my number 3. So we're 25, 26 deep. We're doing a great job. It gives us its tail again. We're going to try to outrun it, but we lose it. Remember, important to not get greedy. We don't need all the bites at one time. So I completely exit, get out of the way. I try to run the tail, and I'm deep on this tail. I'm tip to tail the whole time. I'm not anywhere inside. There's no need. I get in. There's another bite. I'm going for all 3, though. I'm not happy with just 1 here. If I still have the stam in the rotation. Okay, a very important part that you just saw. Notice the Giga did a very smart thing for a very long time here. It turned left over and over again until it felt the need to turn right. The reason it felt the need to turn right is because the more we run the tail while it spins, the more we're going to catch up to that right hip. And they get very nervous that we're going to snipe that right hip. And they always want to turn right. Even if they're just going to give us 1 bite, it's worth it to get them turning right and get inside that pocket, because they're going to want and feel like they can hit that snipe bite on the right side. As long as you're running the tail properly, they cannot hit you. So if you keep rotating around them, they will have no choice, especially when you start landing snipe bites on the right side of the hip. They're going to have no choice but try to catch you on either side. So it's very important to be very patient and make sure you're overrunning the Giga so that you force it into bad turns. Those turns are not favorable for the Giga. It doesn't win a lot of right side combat against the Utah that's already snuck up on the hip. It can win those on the left side, but if you're never giving it the opportunity because you're never extending yourself to that spot, then most of the time the Giga will feel the need to try to hit you in whatever way possible, because we're verging on 30 bites now. They are getting into a very dangerous territory. They really need to land these bites. They cannot keep letting you just bite. So be patient. Use that stam. Trust in your movement. Good positioning. Then get back in. Right turn again, but I miss. And here is an awkward spot. We're probably going to fast forward it through this, but this is a very awkward spot. The Giga kills the Utah that's been hanging around the whole time, and this is why it's terrible. I actually think this is a completely different Utah. This is the one I think that's been hanging out the whole time. This is a completely different Utah. The Giga knows that a third-party kill does not stop the fight. So you'll see here in a second, we continue the fight after that Utah gets brought back. It ends up being an admin who's able to continue this fight, which is fantastic. So props to the admin for not only growing the Utah by accidental death, by killing it, thinking that it was hunting with me, but also to continue this fight. Big props to this admin. It was like GG's all around. This is about as well as you can do in terms of an admin. to be able to handle a situation properly. No extra sitting, no extra nonsense, right? And then we get back into it. The admin grows the Utah, does exactly what they were supposed to do, and respectfully continues the fight. So big props to this admin. All right, so we're on 30 bites. The Giga sat for a little bit, but nothing that should affect the fight too much. So we're going to continue to get in here. Now we know we need more like 45 bites. We've got to be careful to not lose that pacing. There's one. I think we missed that next one, but we're going to run this tail down again. We're just going to be so persistent here. Overrun the tail again. And end up landing all three because we're patient in that spot. Now, many of you who are listening will probably hear something very interesting. You heard me take damage. At this point in the fight, I am so hungry that I'm starting to take damage from hunger. So that becomes a brand new element in this fight where I have to try to find food in the middle of the fight while this Giga knows I'm probably trying to find food because they heard that as well. And we've got to continue to put bites on it. While losing stam, it becomes a whole different fight now. Giga starts trying to chase me down, but it's bleeding so much here. This is as good as anything can get. A Giga pressuring you. Maybe the Giga thought I was running low on stam. I'm not sure. But either way, that's a lot of running by this Giga while bleeding very heavily. We're going to overrun the tail again. We don't like it, so we rotate out. We're not going to waste these bites. We need them. And I'm taking hunger damage. We can't help but get all the bites we can. I missed one, but I hit one. We land another right there, and I decided to peel completely because I thought that that was probably 3 bites without me ever making a 180-degree turn. Giga decides to start running again, which we love, right? We want this Giga to be running. I don't like how far I am, so you see me swing very wide out on the tail. They give us it again. There's 1 more land, 2 more lands, 3 more lands, and we peel right off again. We're talking close to 40 bites now, and this Giga is in a very dire situation, especially with how much running it's done. We're in a very good spot. But you know, because of how long this fight has been, we are at a spot where our stam is getting very, very low. So we've got to start monitoring our stam as well. Also, I've got to find something to eat. So this is exactly what I do. You're going to see me pull way off over here and grab this tiny juvie packy that the Giga killed earlier. They know I'm eating. They knew I took hunger damage, so they're going to try to stop me as soon as possible. And that's exactly what they do. They stop me, they pressure me, and I'm going to run around again. Try to outrun the tail here. And look at me just infinitely eating. It's brilliant. Very hungry. Giga continues to walk us down in full speed while also sprinting. And I will say, this Giga doesn't know this at this point, but we really are struggling on our stamina. So it's actually kind of putting us in a seriously dangerous spot that this Giga decided to continue to chase us and burn our stamina. It turns around again, giving us its back. There's 1, there's 2, there's another 3 on a beautiful pass-through bite. That run-through was very clean, ran down the tail, no danger on the exit. That's exactly how your run-through should be. Down the tail, no danger. And the Giga is going to continue to put pressure on us in terms of pacing. I have to keep using stam to make sure that my trot is keeping up with what it's doing. But the Giga is going to die. We have gotten enough bites now. We're venturing into the 45 to 46 range because of those extra bites I was able to land. Even if we're just 43, maybe we've miscounted 1 or 2. We think that we hit and we haven't. Now the Giga's getting desperate, and I think the Giga's starting to realize that it has no choice, so maybe it's even okay with maybe catching us, maybe running us out of stam, just knowing that it still might bleed out, but very much aware that if they don't continue to pressure me, then they are going to have a very difficult time trying to get to us. Or they won't win the fight at all if they don't get to us in general. They have to catch us. And I think the Giga knows that here, so it's desperation mode. They could stand still, but they'll bleed out. Or they can try to catch us slipping, which we're going to do our best to not give them a chance to do. And the way we do that is we just force them where we're far enough they can't catch us, but not far enough in which they can sit down and heal. So here's something interesting that not enough players take advantage of. I separate myself completely. In order for this Giga to get back to me in time, it needs to use a lot of sprint. Remember, when anything is sprinting with bleed, it is doing 3 times the amount of damage every 3 seconds that it would do if you were standing still or laying down. That means I have a couple of seconds here to try to get some stam back, which I need very importantly, and I can force them into trying to make a very aggressive move to catch me, which will only increase the amount of damage that you're taking from bleed. Not enough Utah players find time in the space they're allowed. This is in visual range, in an open field. I separate myself far enough to lay down for a couple seconds to get some stam back. You need to implement this into your game if you're playing Utah for long-term fights. This is very important to do while you have enough stamina to still get yourself to a safe spot and not get caught with no stamina when you get there. So you have to make this decision sooner than later before you put yourself in a very bad spot and you have no choice but to sit down. Giga does now start coming to pressure me, which means we need to go back to making it bleed mode. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to
really dumb, for real,
until it gets close enough, and we're going to remove ourselves completely again, and we're going to keep it working around in a circle so it stays away from both other dinosaurs and trees. We don't want it going in the trees. Remember, it's the only way it can win is if it catches us off guard. We've already beat it in terms of bleed. We just need to stay at a proper distance with good awareness of where the Giga wants to put us so we can prevent that from happening. The Giga's standing a little still now. I don't know how I feel about this, so I'm thinking, you see me turn. I'm thinking here. You know I love my mock bites. I run around again. I'm not even going to run close to the Giga in this instance. I just want it to keep walking and moving. That's all I want in this spot. I want the Giga to keep walking, moving, bleeding. I've already won the fight in terms of bites. I just can't make a mistake. I've got to manage both my hunger. I've got to manage my stamina. And that's where this fight gets very tricky. Gigas can walk and bleed for a very long time. They can heal bleed very quickly. These fights can often take a real beating on your stamina bar. So you've got to be very careful. We separate ourselves completely. And the reason we do this here is because we need to be walking for stamina. There again, you hear me take one more ping of hunger damage, and it's really starting to hurt. Look at the scratches on me. I got the third screen here, and I'm thinking at that point, I need to end this fight. I hit 1, I hit 2, and I disengage completely. Those bites not only do damage, but they stack more bleed, which means they're going to bleed even more now. And I just have to keep them moving at this point. But man, it got scary. I will tell you guys, it got very scary in the middle of this fight because managing your stam gets very tricky if this Giga starts to suspect that you are healing. Once again, I use the tactic to sit down. I don't let it get close enough, but I get 1 or 2 ticks, more realistically, probably 1 tick. I see it pull away. So I'm going to take advantage of laying down. The second I see it lay down, I don't need enough stam anytime to not make sure that this thing is standing. I already have this win. The one thing I can't do is let it heal. So I win its tail. I go in for another bite. I miss my second one. But I go for the right hip again and land the third. So now I've hit 2 more bites. That's 4 additional bites on top of the ones I already had. And then the Giga folds down A huge GG. Really well fought fight from the Giga. The one thing I'd like to see the Giga players do out there, if you're trying to counter this, and I know I'm telling you how to counter, the thing that I really enjoy doing is fake more left turns. Fake right, go left. Go left, fake right. More counter turning, but add more feints into it. It's going to be really hard for inexperienced Utah players to keep up with, and you're going to catch a lot of them and experienced players just because they're not able to keep up with the timing of how fast the Giga can turn. Less running, right? Less sprinting. This fight was going to be determined. I definitely would have won the fight, but if that Giga didn't do so much sprinting, maybe I actually starved to death before I can win that fight. It can change a lot of things. So, Utah players, right hip, bait them into the right turn, take advantage of every right turn, and do not overextend yourself on the left side. Very important. Do not overextend yourself on the left side. Do not put yourself in bad positions. It's positioning first, then movement, then bites. In that order, never switch it up. That'll keep you alive. If you all enjoyed the video, I really thank you for stopping by. Please don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the breakdown, or if you have any questions on the Utah versus Giga 1v1. Also, don't forget, subscribe with notifications on. That'll let you know every single time we drop a brand new video on this channel, once or twice a week. I appreciate you all. Chin kisses to everybody. I'll catch you in the next one.